I got a few questions for you if you don't mind.
Shoot away, buddy.
So, first off, since you just performed Fear, I was watching the video, you shot that on the ocean and just seeing the emotion that came from that. What made you choose the ocean for that?
Well, I was up in Santa Monica living there for about 6 weeks doing some acting, a conservatory in California. And we had a day off, and I knew the director that I love that's working on a documentary lived in town. And so, and a hurricane had just come through probably about 3 miles down the coast the night before.
Yeah.
So I knew the swell was going to be up like mad. Let's do it. And so we had this dude with a boombox, literally a boombox, like that movie Say Anything.
Yeah.
Holding it up.
Old school style.
Old school style on a CD player, holding it up. And I'm like, we got like 5 takes, dog. And he's like, let's go. And we took this literally 3-4 takes, and right at the end when it goes, get back up, that wave comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that tide rolled in, and we were like, oh my God. But the shots that he got on sunrise, it was like that. It was meant to be.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
I mean, the whole crew, we had like 4 people there, and they all had chills, and they were all kind of welling up because it was such a powerful, positive song and such a powerful message. And with our history of being such dramatic and a little bit of negative behind us, it was such a good stepping stone for our crew to be there and be like, okay, we're here now. This is where we live now. This is a sign. And when that water rushed over me and the crew didn't drop their camera, they got it. It was just like, man, we couldn't have asked for a better day of shooting.
Oh, absolutely. And just the water coming in by itself and just at the exact right moment of the song.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was just like, wow.
It was really cool. And then what was crazy is we had to get out of there because an hour later it was 5 feet underwater.
Oh, wow.
Where we were. So it was dope, though. It was
So it's
really
like
cool.
you shoot a shot, it's like, run like hell.
Let's go. It was cool, though, man.
That's awesome.
Except my beard looked all scraggly because of all the salt water. And I look at it and I'm like, damn, you should have combed your beard.
Right.
But it's all good.
I think you can get away with
Thanks,
that.
buddy.
So you brought up the whole documentary thing, and I was going to ask you about that. That's premiering on VH1. How did that whole thing come about?
To be honest with you, I made a pretty drastic change in my life about 2.5 years ago and decided to take out all negative crutches in my life, which meant drinking, any kind of extra curricular drug activities, whatever, and just take it out to see how life goes, And I challenged myself to do it, and I said, well, let's put some cameras on us, and for 2.5 years, let's film this, and we're going to still keep filming, but the amount of change and positive change that came from it was intense, man.
I can imagine.
The relationships that I had destroyed before were mended on camera. The families that were scattered came back together. Our team came back together. The band came into more of a positive outlook. So it's not necessarily a documentary of, Blue October, the band on the road.
Right.
It's a story of really manning up and being a better father, a better husband, a better friend, a better son, a better person, and then seeing when you take away those negative crutches like drinking and whatever, or just the negative people in your life, you see how the good things start falling back into place. And just the vessel of it is the Blue October bus. And it's just such a beautiful thing,
Yeah, of course.
It's such a great thing.
So speaking of the change and, just getting all the negative things out of your life,
Right.
was there a catalyst that happened that made you realize that this is it,
Man, I fell off the deep end there for a while. The band almost left. Almost fired my manager in the other room. My wife, who was pregnant at the time, told me that you're not going to come anywhere near this baby unless you go change. And man, it was
awakening.
It was an awakening. They had an intervention with me. And
literally,
literally reading the letters, and man, I truly am blessed today because I never knew there was such an amazing life out there that involved just caring for others instead of life being about myself. And that was the catalyst. I have to thank my wife for it because she's like my rock, man. She's the CEO. I call her boss lady.
There you go.
She
wears the pants and she knows it.
I'm like, I ain't losing that. She's so pretty.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Doc.
So, well, definitely congratulations
Thank
to the life change, and you definitely seem to be a lot happier and just a very very changed outlook on life, and
Yeah.
it's like a fresh beginning for you. It's awesome.
Oh, it's totally cool, man. 36 years of doing the other way. I wanted to try it this way, and I love it.
It's like a
just
whole new life for
amazing.
you.
Whole new life, man.
It's awesome.
It's great.
So you were very influential in the whole Twilight series. tell me about that.
That was crazy because I personally didn't know what Twilight was when I got a call from Stephanie Meyer.
Uh-huh.
And she was just like, your song Hate Me and your song Into the Ocean and your album Foiled really inspired some of the, what is it? What are their names? The Bella. And
Yeah,
what were their names? Edward.
Yeah, I'm not. I know exactly what you're talking
what I'm
about.
saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Absolutely.
So that was pretty wild. And my manager was like, dude, this girl's huge, man. You need to like call her back.
Get
bro.
on this.
And so I called her back and we did a book tour together and where I just played some songs and talked about songwriting and we became close friends, and that was really cool. She really helped me out in a very crazy aspect of music industry. I got to be introduced to a lot of her fans, which were just great.
Definitely. Just was that like a pretty much a new exposure for you? Had you ever done anything like that before?
No.
I mean, obviously not with necessarily the Twilight series, but with any movies or anything like that.
No, not at all. And the funny thing is that when I was on this book tour with her, I started calling home to my friends going, dude, you got to tell me what's going on in these books because I can't read these. They're thick books.
Do I look like a tween to you?
You
No.
know what I'm saying? I'm like, they're asking me if I'm Team Edward or Team whatever, and I don't know what to say. And I'm afraid she's going to be up in front of 25,000 kids asking me, so what part of the book did you? I don't know. So
What did you feel about this?
I'm like, I was, every night I'm sitting there.
Getting all nervous.
I watch the movies.
Right? That's all that matters sometimes, right? So
It's horrible.
Blue October has kind of spanned over a couple of different genres.
Yeah.
From rock to pop, if you will, to adult contemporary top 40.
Yeah.
Where do you think you truly necessarily fit the best, or is it kind of nice being kind of like all crossover as far as that goes?
It's I call it art rock, so it's kind of like we've been together for 20 years.
You need to trademark that.
Yeah, we've been together for 20 years, and we've been pigeonholed when we were with Universal into the rock category because that's when Limp Bizkit and Korn were big, so they needed something to sell, so they pigeonholed us in that. But the thing is, I grew up on all different types of music, hip hop, pop. I'm a huge One Republic fan, things like that.
Nice.
Huge Justin Timberlake fan. Huge Lil Wayne, Drake fan.
There you go, just
huge
all over
Katy
the board.
Perry fan, I'm a huge Miley Cyrus fan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she's got dope songs.
Yeah.
Wrecking Ball.
She's doing something right.
Wrecking Ball is one of the best written songs ever. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm also like a jazz fan, and it's all over the boards. And I always think it's boring. Why would you want to be stuck in one category and just do butt rock all the time?
And limit yourself.
Yeah. Why don't you just throw it out there? And so I get to work with a lot of people like Phil Tan, Tim Palmer, who do these mixes for Katy Perry or Pearl Jam, and I get to. It's just awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've always embraced pop and Hot AC because that's what I listen to at home. Like Dark Horse and.
Gotcha. I want to see that. As he's getting down, he's busting a move in here. I love it.
Dude? I twerk it.
So
I'll twerk for you. Shit. Great camera, I'll do it.
Right, got it. So with the whole band being together, 19, 20 years now, was there any points where, as the whole group, that you were just like, you know what, screw it, we're done? Or has it always been pedal to the metal, just poke and hope and throw it out there and see what happens?
It's always been pedal to the metal. Like we've had band members leave and come back, and band members leave. But for me and my brother, the drummer, it's always just been wham. You drop us, well, we're going.
Screw you, we'll keep going, right?
And then when we're gonna leave you when you offer us a 360 deal because that don't work for us. We're gonna keep going, and we're gonna be around forever. I will say that when I got a little crazy back then, when we were just talking about the band was like, we're done. And I would have too. I would have jumped ship working for my crazy butt.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've always been pedal to the metal. Whatever we can give and whatever we can do, we're never going to stop.
Absolutely.
Especially in this good positive spot we're in now.
Definitely. So speaking of your brother, you guys first started out as the group Harvest.
Oh my God, how'd you find out about that? That was not, I never wanted that name. That was the violinist name, Harvest. I told him it sounded too much like,
Right?
I was like, no. He goes, it can be on
It's
the front
legal
cover,
now.
like
It's legal now.
Okay. He said we could have our front cover be a weed leaf and we can call it Harvest. And I'm like, no, absolutely not.
Right?
Yeah, there's no way. So that's not true, but it kind of is.
He's giving me the look like we don't even really need to talk about
God,
that.
that's
Next
so
question.
Awesome. You did your homework, dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh my God.
So,
Ryan, I'm gonna kill you for that.
so with that being said, with the whole harvesting first coming out, how many different times have you guys kind of changed the name of the band, the group, before you kind of really settled into Blue October? What made you think of or come up with Blue October?
Oh man, this is gonna sound dramatic, but I can say it now that I'm in. We're all happy here,
Right?
But
Do
it's
I need to
always
get
been
the dun,
Blue
dun, dun
It's always
out?
been Blue October. But when I was a young kid, I got all dramatic and been out of shape, and they put me in a mental hospital. And it was in October, and when I got out, I go, I'm gonna start a band and write about this, and it was a Blue October. And then ever since then, every October has been some sort of big change in my life, whether it be positive or negative. So I decided to take that experience, which was wacky, by the way,
I'm sure.
freaky,
Absolutely.
and make it into a band, and sing about those kind of things. I thought, well, wow, I'm gonna make this the point of this band to be not dinner conversation band. It'll be blah, like
Right.
I'm just gonna spill it out, which a lot of people are like, oh, you're so dramatic, and I was like, well, then don't listen to it.
Right?
Go listen to whatever you want to.
That's right. It's meant to keep you on the edge of your seat,
Well,
going, right. So,
Harvest.
hey, Wikipedia is a beautiful
Hey,
thing,
man,
right?
Let's call our band Harvest, bro.
You're like, really?
I'm
Really?
like, super. Now that
Yeah.
I'm sober, perfect.
And of course, I got to dredge up those memories for you.
Oh,
Exactly.
no, it's
right?
good, dude. It's good.
So, what was your first job that you ever had?
My first job?
Yeah.
You're going to laugh. I was an exterminator.
No kidding.
I killed rats, hormigas, ratones, and cucarachas for a living.
Nice.
Yeah. But you know what my dream job is?
Huh?
To be a barber.
To be a barber, huh?
I'm going to my...
I figured you'd be living your dream job right now.
Well, it is, but to be a barber, man, I'm all about American traditional tattoos, old school barbering, straight razor barbering, and I told my wife I'm going to go to barber college when we have time off, man.
When you first got onto the radio and all that, what was that experience like as far as just, when you first heard it on the radio and you're like, oh my God, this is becoming real. It's not just playing for cafes or, playing dive bars or whatever. This is actually becoming the real thing.
I think when I first heard us on the radio, I was like, oh, wow. But when I first heard Hate Me on the radio, and my manager came up to me and he said, get ready. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he goes, you have no idea what's about to happen. You better hold on tight. And then 3 years happened, and then I was like, what just happened?
It just flew by.
And then you're like, whoa, oh my gosh. It flew by. It was great, but I remember at a point when Hate Me came out that I was like, I never wanted to get this big. Hold the fort. I always grew up on bands like the Cocteau Twins or like Joy Division.
Yeah.
Or, they kind of flew under the radar. The Cure, which were huge.
Yeah.
But I was always like, oh my God. So all the success that we get now is just such a blessing and such an added bonus, because I never wanted to get that big in the first place. Because once you get that big, then it's like, now where are you gonna go, dog? Now, and if the people are just gonna see you,
No, it makes sense.
So owning the label now and just doing it at our own pace, it's so great. It's
Absolutely.
so great. We can just build our fan base one at a time.
So what's next in line after you guys leave here? Where are you guys going next?
Well, our bus broke down
I heard about that.
in Denver.
What'd you do?
Well,
we won't talk about that on air.
oh my gosh! Don't get me started with these bus companies.
Right.
No, we're gonna. I have an Aloft. I'm playing at the Aloft tonight. An acoustic show there. We're going to Milwaukee, hopefully, and then we're going to Omaha, and then we're going to finish the rest of the tour, and then we're getting into the studio to make some more music, working on the documentary. We just filmed a live DVD, and we're just gonna keep rolling, dog. We're just gonna
Nice.
keep rolling. We have a new album out. We're hoping Fear. Thank God. Thank you guys for playing it tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
We're hoping that one does something, because it's such a positive aspect of Blue October that we really want to get this crowd that you have, the awesome crowd, you know, that pop crowd, that awesome RAC crowd, that we really want them to hear it.
Yeah, definitely.
And not know it's just for hate me today.
Exactly, right?
Right.
So one other question, I guess, for you. This will be my last question.
It's all good. Takes time.
With the change and, you know, the new, I guess, outlook on life.
Yeah.
Are you still planning on keeping kind of like the same sound that you guys have had, or maybe kind of branching out into some other things? Or give me an idea of what are some kind of things that are in the works and in the progress?
Bigger beats, bigger hooks, universally themed music about just how to suck up life. All that passion I put in the pain,
Yeah.
I want to put in sucking up the marrow of life and just living it to the fullest and just punching it every day.
I love it.
You know,
Absolutely
I want to
love
put that
it.
much passion in it so people are inspired to get up, because I've drug them down such a hill.
Yeah, definitely.
I want them to know that, man, it's time.
Just a
Come on.
fresh new sound from
Let's
you
do
guys,
this.
and
Yeah.
hold on tight,
But
because you
big
never know what's
beats
coming
and
on.
big hooks, dude. That's what I want.
That's a lot.
Big beats. Big
Love it.
beats.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
Blue
you.
October in the studio. Thanks again, once again, for coming in, and I wish you tremendous success, and hopefully your bus gets fixed.
Hey, man, I got a day off in Denver if I don't. So
Right?
it's
There you
straight.
go.
Go get some more tats.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for coming in, man, and continued success in the future.
I appreciate it, bub.